are you actually bold enough to just simply claim, simply decide that what you so truly desired just a moment ago is now yours? Purely by thinking from, being, doing, having, whatever it is that you, well, so truly desire. The desired reality that you so badly want to experience. Now realize that an experience always comes with thoughts, feelings, emotions. So if you understand that, then thinking from it and thereby creating the feelings and the emotions that you would feel if what you desire is already, well, going on, already happened, so to speak, which it did, since time is merely an illusion and space is actually also just an illusion. It becomes very paradoxical, so I might touch on that in a different video, but well, it's all up to you to convince yourself to become the placebo, so to speak, to create for yourself, to choose or decide in this case, that you are now it, that you and your desire are now one, that you now are being, doing, having whatever it is that you, so, well, a few moments ago or a moment ago only desired to do, be, or have. Only you can switch to your new story, your new perception of how you view this moment. You're being reborn every single, well, yeah, second, so to speak. It could be even, I mean, time is not of the equation, so every millisecond, so to speak. So that would already be 10 times in 1 second, but that doesn't really matter. The whole paradoxical view of the illusion of time. What does matter is that you as awareness were given a choice. You are consistently choosing throughout the day. For example, what you are going to have for dinner tonight, as I gave a pretty big example of in my other video. But well, do you really understand that it's all up to you? It's all in your hands right now. Your destiny, so to speak. But, well, your future. Now, the past, future are merely illusions, since time and space are merely illusions. All we have is right now, this eternal present moment. And you are being reborn ceaselessly. And you are thus talking to God ceaselessly as well. Talking to all that is, the universe, if you will. You are consistently communicating by you as awareness. Well, choosing what you focus on, what you put your awareness on, which gives it life, which gives it power, which quite literally brings it alive, since reality cannot exist without awareness. My excuse. Well, the thing is, or can, we would never know. How could we for sure be able to, well, yeah, observe or be aware of reality, life, any of this that is perceivable through the 5 senses? How could we actually prove that it exists without consciousness, without awareness, without an observer, a mind, or in this case, awareness that observes the mind, the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, the body, all these consistently changing things? Well, we can. Of course we can. Because you need awareness or consciousness to prove, or to, well, to yourself actually, well, yeah, prove that something exists, that something is here. And because of that, you can simply decide what you want to experience by putting awareness on, well, yeah, first, of course, choosing from the infinite warehouse of God, if you will, or just the infinite possibilities in the quantum field, if you will, the already existing realities, as crazy or as simple as you can imagine them. All of it exists right now, literally right now. And the only thing you have to do is to either consistently go back to deciding that you are now it, or just doing it once or twice, thrice, and then letting it go, and letting the Father, so to speak, I and the Father are, one. The Father is greater than I am. Now the Father speaks for self. That once again, if you don't like the word, the human made-up word God, then you could also come up with, call it the universe, all that is, source, pure energy, whatever, awareness, consciousness. But you are one with God, you are God, you are all that is, but you're also an individualized aspect of it, an individualized aspect of all that is. And you are, well, yeah, you call yourself, you've given yourself, you get what I mean. You have a name, and you can change your name. All of these things are changeable. What you cannot change is your true state of being, your most pure, true state of being, your truest state of being, so your true self, which is, once again, awareness, pure consciousness, or what I like to refer to as the silent observer. But that's just me giving it a name. I think it doesn't really matter as long as you really understand. And could really explain to someone if they ask you why and how am I actually pure awareness, that you instantly, say by proving, since everything is changing, your body, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your whole reality is consistently changing, but the real you, the you refer to as I, or I am now doing this, or I am about to do that, or I like to experience this. That same I is awareness, pure consciousness. If you really understand that, so we leave time out of the equation, space as well, you understand that your true self is pure I am consciousness. Well, we also just discussed that reality cannot exist without an observer or awareness. At least we are never able to prove if that is the case. So let's just go with there is no reality without awareness. Well, in that case, that means that to get something, to obtain something, to experience something, you first have to experience that thing, or in this case, your desire, or your endless list of desires, doesn't matter. You first have to experience this in and through awareness. Now, the nice thing is that, you are already awareness. It's all you are and all you'll ever be. So you'll only have to put your awareness on deciding what it is that you want. Now, I'm sure you know very, very well what you do and do not desire in this 3D physical experience, life, this 3D physical reality. Well then, the only thing you actually have to do is simply claim it. Simply decide that the decision you just made, and that is you are now. You chose your desire, and now you are going to experience your desire through your 5 senses, and through awareness actually, or using the 5 senses, or if you want to. This isn't per se needed. I mean, we all know about those fleeting thoughts that manifest just as quickly, and you didn't even really go through taste, smell, touch, whatever. So it isn't needed. But then again, it's all up to you. You convince or have to convince or believe that it is instantly done by just deciding. Since you are the center point of your, well, the center of your reality. Once again, without your awareness, your individualized aspect of awareness, at least for you, reality wouldn't exist. I wouldn't exist, this video wouldn't exist, at least you couldn't prove it. Now, the thing is, that's why I'm always saying it is all about you. If you actually are bold enough to just claim it and believe that by just simply doing that, you will come across your experience in physicality, so you will end up with your manifestation, then that is enough. But if for some reason someone else or a teacher or a lesson or whatever, something in the, so to speak, from a linear time perspective, past, something convinced you that almost placed a placebo on you, that now you have to do a certain thing or a certain ritual or whatever to obtain your desire, or to be able to be worthy of what it is that you desire, or what, no, etc., etc. So the thing is, it's all up to you. You are the placebo, and you are, well, you can just look at your life and the things that seem to, well, seemingly just come into your life without you really, so to speak, even almost putting your awareness on it. Now, of course, you put your awareness on it, otherwise you wouldn't experience anything. But the thing is, I'm trying to point at what only you can know as the things that are just smooth, very simple, and always just appear at the right time. You don't actually have to worry about any of these things. Now, if you look at these certain things or desires, or, well, in this case, beliefs, you at a certain moment in your life believed, or convinced yourself that those things are actually true. Well, as you now can see, all those things, for example, you don't really have any money problems. There are a lot of money problems in the world, so to speak, and a lot of people experience those problems. But, and not in a bigger general collective sense, as in, how rich or poor is your country, so to speak, but more in a individualized aspect of consciousness sense. You created that for yourself by believing, convincing yourself that something is a certain way, and therefore it now always has to be this way in your life. And if this is actually, well, for example, if you're always in a state of lack, you'll always be in a state of lack. You have to thereby switch your awareness and really believe and convince yourself that even now, even if you don't actually have any cash right now, that yes, you are abundant as you can be. And I understand that if you're deep into that feeling or emotion of already being convinced for years and years that, well, this is your reality, your state of being is a lack state of being, and you don't believe in abundance, you don't believe that you can simply obtain whatever it is that you want by, well, just claiming it, by choosing it and then claiming it, and by not wavering consistently, not putting your awareness on not having it and then having it and not having it, just not this double-minded, just double-mindedness. If you actually understand that it is simply a decision, and that you are the placebo, you are creating the belief itself, you are giving the power to, well, God, but that is your true self. Actually, you are one with it. So through awareness, you quite literally decide that it is yours, and therefore this reality has to reflect back to you who you are being, decided to be or are right now, and then let it go. But most of us, it's hard to just let it go. For example, if it's like a bigger desire, you might want to manifest or decide that you now are the owner of a very large mansion. But for some reason, if you've been programmed, and most likely subconsciously, you were unaware at those moments of the programming taking place, or you just, well, accepted all these suggestions to be true and now therefore they are, then it might be not as hard, or as simple, sorry. It might not be as simple to actually understand that, yes, quite literally by simply deciding that you are now the owner of, well, you of course have to choose the house and the location and everything, but if you've selected what you wanted, then by simply projecting it out, experiencing it true and in true awareness right now, and then expecting it by knowing that that is actually enough, and therefore letting it go, or every time it pops up when it hasn't, so to speak, physically manifested yet, you go back to, once again, thinking from being, doing, whatever, having whatever it is that you desire. And in this case, being an owner of a big mansion, which you decide how it looks once again, where it is located at. But then the only thing you have to do is stay true to the state. Life will conform to actually you being the owner of, well, your chosen mansion, and you'll take the appropriate or needed, if you will, steps / actions to obtain the money, everything that is needed for that purchase, or even, well, you could win it like Helen Hepsel did. I mean, back then it was 50K, but she won like a property of $500,000. She also won multiple cars, and also a car just purely because her son wanted to know if she was able to, well, manifest the car. So she manifested multiple cars as well. But why? Because she simply decided. She selected it, projected it, expected it, and then simply collected it. Now you still have to collect it, but I don't think that if you are, face to face with your manifestation, so to speak, that you're not going to collect it. But hey, that is still the choice you've been given since birth. And that is, well, what are you deciding to do? Are you choosing to do something, or are you not making a decision, or you're always given a choice? And if you really, really understand this, then, well, it's all up to you to right now start deciding that you are the person you want to be, that you're now living the life that you want to live. It sounds so paradoxical, but I hope you get what I mean. It's all right now. It's instantly done. And you being in the lack of it is also instantly done by, once again, going back to, well, I don't believe it. I'm not convinced that this is actually true, or any of this information is actually true. And as I've said before, all denial is self-denial. So, well, that means then that you're actually out of it again, and then you're in it again when you pick yourself back up by watching some videos and some techniques maybe, and you get back into it and you affirm again and you visualize a little and you feel better, and you kind of believe in your vision or your desires again, but then something happens and you fall off, and this is consistently going on. And I know that, and I'm not trying to assume or decide it to be true for everybody, but a lot of people I come across on YouTube feel this way, and I get it. If you're not, and a lot of people, what I also found out about is like half the people that watch these videos haven't actually really done a lot of research, and obviously because they come across it, and yes, it's actually as simple as you simply deciding that you can right now have whatever it is that you desire. But the thing is, because you've been programmed in such a way, because you don't believe that at all, but you kind of, you're expecting, but you're not making any changes. The change has to come in and through awareness, and you could do it right now, and you would actually obtain your desire, and that it is actually simply such a simple, easy, few-step process. I made a video about that 3 videos back or something like that, so go and watch it if you haven't yet. But it's not really a technique either. Like, it's just you being aware as awareness itself, and then deciding that you are now this person, or you're now having this through an experience that you create by true awareness, by right now just putting your awareness, as in putting your awareness on something is just thinking of, identifying your awareness with a thought. So thinking of what it is that you desire. Well, you decided what it is you desire, and now you're going to decide that you are actually one with your desire. You are it. You are now being slash doing or having whatever it is that you so truly want to experience in this physical 3D physical reality. But the thing is, with most people, it's what Einstein said. A famous quote by Einstein. The definition of insanity is consistently doing the same thing over and over and over again, and then actually still expecting any different results. And the thing is, a lot of people who find out about, most of it starts with, The Secret and the law of attraction or whatever, but the law of assumption, I like to refer to it as the law of decision, but creating slash manifesting, or in this case, actually just choosing, deciding that what you desire already exists and that you only have to go and quite literally decide that it's yours by claiming it right now through awareness. If you actually, and of course there are people that are, so to speak, lucky enough, not lucky enough, you for some reason are able to convince yourself quite good at something. I don't know if you've convinced yourself that you were able to do that, it doesn't matter, but it's all to what you convince yourself to be true of yourself and your reality. And that's the whole paradox of all of this. Since the person that actually, might have heard about, using your mind to create experience in your life, or just whatever. Maybe you came across Helen Hetzel or Neville Goddard or Florence Scovel Shinn, or a lot of people nowadays, they come across Dr. Joe Dispenza because it's health related, and not that Joe Dispenza only talks about health or diseases or anything like that, but I'd say the larger amount of people go for health-related problems to, come across the information of Joe Dispenza and also Greg Braden, etc. But because of health problems, and the thing is, so they get the book, or they just say, like, go to Joe Dispenza's website and just look up his meditations, or buy a few, whatever, and just go and do the work. And because these people actually read all the books, which are quite long books, if I'm being honest. Most of the books are like at least 10 hours, but in length. But they're, oh man, if you've never read or just or listened to the audio version of one of these books by Joe Dispenza, Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza, or You Are the Placebo, or Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, I highly recommend you go and get that information through your awareness, because that's all it is. But if you really listen to it, and you'll start scientifically also understanding that in that way you're electromagnetically actually creating things in the quantum field. Now, if that's more of a view you like, then that's why I've studied all of the different aspects, because then you can, at least for me, it's more a bigger picture, so I can tie it all together. But that's just up to me, this you don't have to take like 10 years to know all of this, and for the whole thing I'm actually trying to say is to start really applying it, because yes, of course, I've manifested things also when I didn't really understand that it's all up to me, but fleeting things, not always what I wanted, and not always my exact desire, etc., and that's not how this works. The whole thing of creating, or in this case, deciding what it is that you want, is deciding what it is that you want, and exactly that, not better or not less. Nowadays you hear a lot of people that God has something else in store for you, better things, the desire, is it meant for you in this lifetime now? Well, the thing is, that doesn't exist. Of course not, unless you convince yourself that that is true. Via maybe, tarot cards, or reading like that. If you've actually, if you've put your belief and your belief system actually, and your power in those people, and believe everything they say, there you go. You created the placebo of, the placebo is in that case that you believe that those people no more than you have an outside source, or have are tuned into a power that you're not. And there is only one power, the power. and that is who you are. The one and only power of creation. Is finished, and of the creator itself, which you are. And yes, paradoxically, you're also a human, and you got this whole paradox going on of being in a human body as, an infinite spirit actually, which is, well, yeah, very paradoxical, but that's the whole thing. That's the whole meaning of life, to create this illusion, well, of identifying and experiencing yourself as and through awareness with, well, who, whatever, wherever, just everything that you can imagine, to express yourself in, well, a way that you decide to, and experiencing the things that you decide to. But like I wanted to say, the whole thing is you could right now, quite literally instantly, manifestation is actually instantly, but the whole thing is it all happens in and through awareness. And then if you stay true to that, you'll come, in physicality, through awareness, become aware of it once again. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and end. It always starts and ends with and in and through awareness. But my whole thing is, like, most people want the next big thing, the quick fix or whatever. And if you actually are bold enough to convince yourself, believe, it's all up to you that is possible, then you can have your manifestation by next week, tomorrow, so to speak. In a few months, whatever, you decide the time aspect of it as well. It's all up to you. I know how crazy that sounds, but that's the whole thing. And that's why some people just never get it, because they don't understand that they're actually that powerful. And that's why they, well, start slacking in belief and being consistent, as in, the consistentness is a reiteration and reminding yourself of this message. And if needed, as much as possible. Because we all know the people that, yes, I know all about spirituality, I know all about it, but are you actually applying what you've been taught, or what these messages and these teachings are actually all about? Or are you just listening and hoping that maybe this one sentence will finally, so to speak, make it click for you? And actually, that's how it does happen. A lot of people only get it after listening like 10,000 times, which is crazy, but that's how the mind works. Reiteration, practice. Keep practicing and keep reminding your mind of this information, so that you rewire your mind and understand that, therefore, you, through awareness, instantly understand that when you want something, you desire something, that you instantly go back to, oh, I know how, by simply deciding, which is me right now convincing myself that it's already true, and if I can do so, then it is, which means I'll come across my manifestation in a few days, weeks, or months. And that's all you can do, and this goes for every and any desire: health, wealth, love, relationships, traveling, whatever, materialistic things, boats, cars, planes, whatever. You get what I mean. So it's all up to you. I hope you really start realizing that it's actually all up to you, and there's no one or anything outside of you that can convince you. And if they can, then I hope that it is something that is lovely and of good report. Otherwise, you'll be stuck in a cycle of experiencing things that, well, you, through something or someone else, convince yourself to be true of yourself and your reality, and therefore it now is. And that's a whole placebo. And if you can switch that up and actually do it with things that are actually lovely and of good report, and also whatever you desire, because it's all to you to choose what you want to experience in life, that's it. You can't do anything more as awareness, and it's all awareness. There's anything happening as outside of awareness. The only paradox is that now that you're letting it go, you might start to wonder, like, when will it happen, or how does it happen? That's not up to you. The only thing you can do is just quite literally claim through and in awareness that you are now your desire, you are now being, doing, having, whatever it is, and let that go. And if the desire pops up again, you do the same. And that's the only thing you do until you physically obtain or manifest, see, in this case. Manifestation is just something becoming visible to the observer. Something that was first only in awareness now is also physically obtainable. You have to now go and collect it, claim it. Now claim it through awareness, and you will claim it in physicality. That's the only thing you can do. So I appreciate you listening to this long ass talk, and I'll be back with a new video very soon.